Day 26, getting my walk in. We've been getting some rain today, so definitely makes for a fun little walk. Day 26, finishing up my reading of The Wealthy Gardener, and this lesson is called Knacks. So I'll read you guys a few brief paragraphs, and again, as are all the other chapters, this is another really good one, and one that really brings your awareness to kind of the things that you find yourself getting into. So I'll start with this. What makes you unlike anyone else on this planet, he said, is the unique mix of your values, inclinations, knacks, ambition, and inner voice. Any effective wealth strategy begins with discovering your best qualities and then applying these assets to good work. So basically, he defines individuality with 5 characteristics, and the 5 were values, inclinations, knacks, ambition, and inner voice. Now, for values and inclinations, if you go watch day 24 and 25, I break those down from the previous chapters, and so this chapter is about knacks. And he defines a knack as an activity or subject that comes naturally to one but is difficult for others. A knack is an aptitude, a capacity, a gift to learn. It is not a skill per se, but rather the natural ability to acquire a skill and master it more easily than others are able to. It is a potential competence, effectiveness, and an inborn advantage. And so he describes kind of 4 different ways or steps that you can take to figure out what your knacks are. First, as you search for your knacks, don't worry about how they will be used. Find them the way you might search kitchen shelves for available ingredients. Once you've gathered the ingredients, you can then decide on the meal. And once your knacks are known, you can then decide how best to apply them. Second, look for times in your life when you found yourself in a state of deep immersion or mental absorption. These instances may reveal your learning knacks. And that's really interesting because it's something that you don't often think about. Like, what are the things that you get obsessed about? What are some stuff that you come across and you just can't stop thinking about it, or you can't stop reading about it, or you revisit it over and over again? And that's likely something that is telling you about your individuality and what one of your knacks might be. Third, search your values and interests to find your talents. We are equipped with the ability to thrive in the areas in which we are inclined to spend our time. A person gifted in math will be naturally inclined to work with numbers. Our knacks hang around our keenest interest. Last, immerse yourself in resources like online aptitude testing, books on aptitude, and standard evaluations like StrengthsFinder, or the Myers-Briggs personality test, the Myers-Briggs type indicator, which in my case has been consistently accurate for decades. And it's so funny that he mentions this because just about a week ago in one of my 75-day videos, I mentioned how someone introduced me to Myers-Briggs, and I have been absolutely obsessed with it. It's been weeks now, and it's something that I literally read about and listen to about every single day because I have never read anything that was so accurate about my personality type, and it just brought so much awareness and clarity to me about who I am and why I think the way that I think and why I do things in a certain type of way. It's just, if you've never taken a Myers-Briggs personality type test, I cannot recommend it enough. I will post the link again, but there's a great website that I use called 16personalities.com. Definitely do the test and then go watch a bunch of YouTube videos about it. That was the advice that I got, and definitely one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever been given, and it has just been insurmountable what an impact it has had on me. So if you're trying to figure some stuff out about yourself, please, I urge you to go do this right away. Okay, so I'll end with, we operate from a position of knacks or weakness. In my experience, the greatest block to a person's development is having to take on a way of life that is not rooted in his own powers, said Rollo May. Everyone is a genius, said Albert Einstein, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. The life lesson knacks. I learned that using my odd and peculiar traits was a necessary advantage for uncommon prosperity. And I totally understand where this chapter is coming from, because for me, I grew up as just a very normal person. I had no particular talents. I couldn't play an instrument. I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't artistic. I can't sing. There was really nothing in particular that I was really good at and that was like really clear and out there in the open. Like, oh yeah, I'm super good at, drawing or whatever it might be. I wasn't that person. And it was something my whole life I would always say is like, oh my gosh, I have no talent. I don't know what I'm good at. But now as I'm getting older, I'm definitely seeing my knacks, the things that I start to obsess about. And it was just a matter of kind of bringing awareness to the fact of, what are the things that I really get stuck thinking about? What are the things that I continue to go down rabbit holes on? And just paying attention to that and taking away from it what it is about those things that interests me and why they interest me and how it kind of makes me unique from other people who may not be into that, and how I can use that towards my work. So it's been very interesting, and sometimes it takes time to figure out what it is that your knacks are, or what it is that what makes up your individuality. And what I can say from my own experience, especially in these last 10 years between me being 20 and 29, about to be 30, is I have probably tried thousands of different things, so many different types of businesses, so many different types of just activities, and just experimenting left and right and failing at 99% of it. But ultimately that has all led me to a direction that I'm headed down that I think is the perfect direction for me. So it takes time and it takes a lot of experimenting, and I would just say go out there and do it and try a bunch of different things and just keep doing it until you arrive at a place where you feel comfortable, where you feel like you finally fit into something that speaks to you and that you're good at. And on that note, that is end of day 26. Hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. And for those of you that are wondering what the heck these days are that I'm sharing, check out the description below and click the link on the Andy Frisella podcast to figure out what the 75-day challenge is. All right, guys, good night. Bye.